Global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned. Hello guys, welcome to Global Happenings today. We have a trending news here for you. And the headline of the news reads, Fraud in view as prominent senator says he has no idea of the details of the 128 billion naira National Assembly budget. But before we go on with details of the news and further analysis, we'd like to encourage you to please subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button and also on the bell icon so that you can get notification anytime we publish videos on YouTube. All right, let's look at the news in detail. A National Assembly member who is also the vice chairman of Senate Committee on Public Account, Senator Ibrahim Hadija, has declared that the 128 billion voted for the National Assembly in the 2020 Appropriation Act is covered in secrecy. Answering reporters' question on budget, the senator stated, and I quote his word, he said the details of the 128 billion naira budgeted for the National Assembly in 2020 are never there. I don't know anything about the breakdown. I cannot give you details about budget which I am not privy to, and I was not part of those who put it together. According to him, the appropriation committee that put the budget estimate together for approval will be in a better position to speak on it. I quote his word, he said, you need to forward your questions to the appropriation quarters. You can meet the appropriation committee because they know what goes into where in the 2020 federal budget, he told reporters. Hadija, however, stated that details of the other aspect of the 10.59 trillion budget were made public except the vote of the National Assembly. He said, and I quote, I'm not aware that the details of the 2020 budget are not given. Was it not the detail that gave birth to the 37 billion earmarked for the renovation of the National Assembly by the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, this year? So if the details were not there, how would people have known this? Also speaking on the non-availability of the details of National Assembly budget, Senate spokesperson Senator Godiya Akwashiki explained that the clerk of the National Assembly was in the best position to give the breakdown. Akwashiki stated, and I quote, the clerk to the National Assembly is supposed to be in charge of that. Being the accounting officer of the National Assembly, he is in the best position to give the details. The disbursement of funds for the capital component of the budget is the duty of the National Assembly bureaucracy. We don't execute capital budgets as senators. We only collect our salaries and allowances. We don't award contracts. Neither do we determine the contractors that will get the job. The National Assembly budget is a public document, and since the Senate President has promised to make the budget transparent, the clerk should be in the best position to speak on the issue. All right, that is just the news. But right now, it's really troubling to know that even a senator, one who is a member of the National Assembly, is not privy to all the detailed information in the budget that concerns the National Assembly. Don't forget that this budget is actually a public document. It's not a document that should be kept in secret. For example, if you go to some organizations, especially the NGOs, and you go through their listing document, when they talk about budget, or maybe possibly there's a project that they're about to do and they talk about budgeting, you will notice that virtually everyone in the organization will have an idea of the provisions in different budget heads. They will have an idea. They can tell you because why it is made a public document for virtually everyone to know, especially in an NGO that, they are very transparent in their dealing. You realize that everybody in the department will get to know everything. But unfortunately, this case is quite different. How can one who is not just a senator, but also the vice chairman of, Senate Committee on Public Accounts would not have in his fingertips the details of the national money voted for the National Assembly expenditure? He has no idea about it. I smell fraud here. Because wherever there is no transparency, certainly there won't be accountability. And when there is no accountability, surely you're going to expect fraud to be the order of the day. So I'm perceiving that there may be likelihood of fraud. But I believe that whatever thing that has been said by this senator, that the president, the Senate president is aware of it. And if he has promised then that everything will be transparent enough for everyone to know about it, every of the member of the National Assembly will be saved with a copy of the budget so that they can, stand a better ground to explain to people about everything that is currently going on, because this is overly important. If you are talking about accountability, if you are saying you are this and that, you are a man of transparency and all of that, everything should be well spelled out. People should have an idea of all the financial transaction that is carried out. It's not just a case of when auditors come, that's when we bring out the If you're talking about accountability, we were all voted by our own constituency to come and represent them in the National Assembly. Same with even the Senate president. So if you want to do any rulings about the National Assembly, it must be public enough for all of us to have ideas. So as we step out there as honorable members of in Nigeria, as we step out there and they begin to throw us questions, because certainly reporters will always come around. They see them in the airport, they see them anywhere, they corner them and try to see how they can get ideas about a lot of things that is happening, to get details, because that's the most important thing. If you are in a particular place, you need to have details of a lot of things that are happening there, so that when you give out information, people will know, this is not just anybody outside talking, this is one who is inside. So right now, that statement made by that senator is something that awakens the consciousness of Nigerians. Yes, another person came up and said that the 37 billion naira for the renovation. Now, how did they get to know it? Remember that immediately that one came up and Nigerians begin to shout, why not use it to build a new complex for yourself than for you guys to be talking about 37 billion naira in just renovation? Immediately that thing came out, Nigerians started crying out. And immediately they started crying out, they were like trying to explain from one point to the other. But it doesn't just drive. We can't really add it up. How can you be spending 37 billion naira in renovation? Nigeria started also. I believe that's why they are kind of trying to conceal a lot of things. And before even the approval of the budget, don't forget that everything went through the scrutiny of the National Assembly. And I can still remember when the Senate president came out clearly and told Nigerians that what they are seeing in the budget does not just drive. That they are noticing that even the budget of 2017, 2018 is what is duplicated again for 2020. Which therefore mean these guys do not even sit down to go through anything. They don't even sit down to plan their own work. They just wake up and say, how much did we spend the other day? They mentioned it, just hijack it like that. So you realize that all capital projects keep on appearing. All recurrent this thing keep on appearing again, which is just not how it ought to be. The capital project, if you have spent so amount of money to handle your capital project in so year, the next year it's either it's going to increase, and it will be increasing based on the new capital project that you're coming up with, or it will be reducing due to the fact that most of your capital project has been concluded. But hey, guess what? That's not how it is being seen in this case. And that's why we are perceiving that where there is no accountability, where there is no transparency, certainly fraud may be in view.
It's obviously that this thing is all shaded in so much fraud. It's not new anymore. Nigerians are actually tired of this whole billion and not being accountable. 39 billion naira that is used for renovation of the national 37 billion naira used for renovation of the National Assembly, and I still heard that it's not going to be enough. Some people said, what's the essence? One respondent said, if our road is as beautiful as the current National Assembly building complex, that we are good to go. If you have that kind of money, why don't you even build a new National Assembly? 37 billion and it's not enough. And you guys created a budget that is meant for National Assembly, and not even a single honorable member can break it down. So, okay, for accountability's sake, everything should have subheads, so that, okay, this particular amount is meant for this, meant for that. You've padded everywhere. Even your co-members in the assembly can't even tell you that this money is for this money is for that. Who are we deceiving? It quickly came to my mind when I heard that they said they are going to, when they call them rubber stamp Senate, they begin to get angry that they're not rubber stamp Senate. When Nigerians were saying, please do not give the presidency $2 billion he was asking for, then can't remember the exact figures now. He was asking for
26 billion,
that was supposed to be in arrears of the first tenure he had. That Saraki, the then Senate president, eighth Senate president, rejected. He said it was dead on arrival. He refused to let it go.
29 billion.
Now they are trying to approve it, and they were saying, according to Lawan, said they're looking at the synergy, being that the what they wanted to use the loan for is something that will help the situation in Nigeria, that Nigeria needs, capital project and all that. Let's be real. The last ones they borrowed, where is the money? We keep hearing it has been used for this. We can't even see the use, the productivity. We can't see the evidence of the fact that those monies are truly being used. And now we want to increase Nigerians' debt portfolio to a point that an average Nigerian will be a debtor to whoever it is that they are getting the monies from. And now I think it's a case of scratch my back and scratch your back. Now they have tried to approve, because they still have not made it public yet if they have formally approved that money or not. Last time they went for recess, they said they're going to look into it by this year, that's this January. Of course, they've not yet given us the details of it. Now, with that in mind, and they have already approved this kind of amazing 128 billion.
The only one we know of is the 37 billion for renovation.
That's the only one we know. The rest, no one knows. 128 billion, which means for the presidency to have accepted for this amount for them, that means there's some other things also that they must have agreed, to pass, to sign and allow to pass, that may not be made public. That's why you see them shouting this issue of social media. They should, curb it so that informations won't be released. And I'm also sure that's why they didn't release some of this information, so that there won't be media outcry. The last one they had of renovation, there was a media outcry on it. They were like, that kind of amount of money. Oh, and the last one that even got me really mad was one of the senators who came a week after Christmas. Just a week after Christmas, he got mad that they told them that when they go for recess, they're going to get a little Christmas bonus. Said they were so angry when they got their Christmas bonus and it was 2 million each. They were so mad. What is that money? That chicken chain that can't even buy them chicken. One of them he claimed anonymous, was one of the senators. He said that this chicken, do you know how many people that are waiting for him in his family? How can he go back and just made 2 million? And I asked, a minimum wage, some governors are finding it difficult to enact 30,000 naira. A sitting senator, one sitting senator, they call it small package, 2 million naira, small package. What are you doing sitting there? Even the law said, I don't know. Some of them stay for 4 years, they don't even propose bill. They don't propose any reasonable bill. And we are being... Nigeria... I don't know. Each time I hear about my country, sometimes I weep for my nation. The level of fraud. You are talking about presidency, you are talking about... Next you see another one. The whole thing is... I don't know. When they say... Right now, I feel like shedding tears. It's amazing. The corruption is fantastic.
All right, thank you very much. And... just as you have heard, these are the things that awaken media outcry. You see people talking about it and going on social media to really debate about it. But all the same, we are hopeful that as the Senate president has promised that he will be transparent enough, I believe that every member of the National Assembly will have a copy of their own budget so that they can be, especially like somebody who belongs to, a committee on this thing, public account. Why shouldn't he have more ideas about it? Why should he be referring us to whatever committee that was in charge of the creation of the budget? It's not, as far as it has been approved, everybody should have a copy. So that is, we believe that by the time they start up, they will be transparent enough for Nigerians to know. If not, then so much eyes will be on them just to ensure that there is no form of fraud in mind. All right, that's where we're going to leave it. Please go to our comment section. Let us interact.